So guys, a couple of months ago around the start of Chapter 4, as you guys know, Fortnite Competitive did change the regions. Instead of having NA West and NA East, they combined it to make one NA Central region. And this led a lot of the people, especially on the coast, which tend to be the most populated parts of America, this led them to actually have a lot higher ping. So if you were already suffering from really high ping, let's say you're playing in Canada, maybe you're playing somewhere in Florida, you're going to be really high on ping now because you're extremely far away from the servers. In today's video, I want to go over different ways that you guys can lower your ping and generally just be able to combat that whole high ping issue that we now have with the new NA Central server. Now be sure to stick around to the end of the video so that you guys can get all of the different high ping tips. Let's hop right into this video. So first off, obviously you guys need to make sure that you are on Ethernet. So as you guys know, there are 3 different ways of connecting to the internet. There's going to be Wi-Fi, which is just generally wireless connection. There's an in-between where you're going to be able to get a wired connection, and you're not going to be on Ethernet specifically, but you're going to be as close to it as you can, which is what I'm going to go over. And then there's going to be, of course, raw Ethernet, where you're either plugged into your router or an outlet on your wall in which you get direct Ethernet from your router. Now, as you guys know, if you have access to a router or a general wall plug, it's actually really easy to get Ethernet. You just take an Ethernet cable, ideally something like a Cat 7, and you plug that into the wall and then get it into your computer. That's going to be giving you the fastest internet connection possible for you guys to compete and play Fortnite with. That's going to give you really low ping. It's going to give you the best fast connection, and you're never really going to have internet problems. Now, of course, for some people, this isn't really the case. Some people's setups are going to be too far from their router. Maybe their parents won't allow them to actually route an Ethernet cable to their room. Whatever it may be, I'm going to show you guys 2 ways that you guys can get Ethernet without really having to deal with this long cable issue or the router issue. Now, the first option is going to be something called a power line adapter. Now, a power line adapter is essentially something you can buy off of Amazon for around $100. Essentially what it is that there's going to be 2 branches of this power line adapter. It's going to be something you plug into your wall outlet, and it basically connects your computer to the internet by using your home's electrical wiring. So what you're going to do is you'll take one end of the power line adapter, plug it in right next to your router, wherever that may be, in an outlet, and then take an Ethernet cable and plug in the Ethernet cable to the power line adapter down there. Then what you guys can do is you can take the power line adapter that's the second branch, go to your setup, plug in the power line adapter into a wall outlet somewhere there, and then take a similar Ethernet cable, plug it into the out portion of that power line adapter, and then plug that into your computer. Now this will give you a hardwired connection, however, obviously it won't be as fast as raw Ethernet. I actually used to use a power line adapter way back in the day, and I would still have some internet issues occasionally. However, it was considerably better than having a Wi-Fi connection. Power line adapters are really great alternatives for those of you that may be struggling with money, or maybe just be struggling to get Ethernet in general, considering where your router is placed. They're really solid. However, if you don't have access to a power line adapter, or you just want a simpler option that may actually work better for some people, I'd recommend something called a coaxial Mocha adapter. Now this basically works by plugging into your coax outlet, which is going to be the outlet in most rooms in which TVs are going to be plugged in. There's going to be something on the wall. It looks like a circle with a little needle in the middle. Most rooms will have this in modern houses. Even some old houses will have it as well, but Mocha adapters are really valuable because you can take your coax outlet and actually put it to some use. What you guys can do is buy a Mocha adapter once again for around $80 to $100 off of Amazon or anywhere else, and then you guys can plug in this Mocha adapter into a coax cable near your setup, plug in an Ethernet cable, and then you're pretty much going to have a hardwired connection. Obviously, there are more steps that are very specific to different coax adapters. However, a Mocha adapter is the best thing for you guys if you cannot get a hardwired connection. This is pretty much the next best thing. So obviously, try to get onto a hardwired connection, but if you can't do that, I definitely recommend a power line or a Mocha adapter. Either one of them are extremely valuable. So once you guys are done with the Ethernet issue, this is a really big thing for ping coming up. This is to make sure that you don't have any viruses on your computer whatsoever. Now, obviously, I could recommend you guys some third-party software like MALWARE maybe, but that's more of a last resort for me. I think there's 2 better ways to actually check if your computer has a virus. Now, first off, this is going to be to do a Windows deep scan in 2 areas. So first off, the best way to do this, guys, is when you are on your computer, you need to click Windows key. So hold down the Windows key and then press R. So that would be Win R, and then you're going to see a small little thing pop up in the bottom left corner. In that, I want you guys to type capital M, capital R, and capital T. So MRT, and then click Enter. Then a window is going to pop up asking if you guys want to scan your device. I want you guys to click yes, I want to scan my device, and then do a full scan of your computer. This scan may take about an hour, but don't worry, you can keep using your computer while the scan is happening. What this will do is this is going to scan all of your files deeply in order to check if there's any underlying malware, phishing scams, anything really. It'll make sure to scan your full computer to make sure that there's nothing slowing down your internet and nothing that's draining your hardware. Now, this is really good for you guys if you guys just generally want to clean out your computer and make it run better. but also it's really safe and really smart to do every now and then, just to make sure that your computer's healthy. And if you guys don't want to do this, what you can actually do is you can do a similar process by going into the Windows settings, and you guys can go into the privacy and security tab. You guys can go over to Windows security, and then you can go to virus and threat protection. Once you're there, it'll give you options for a scan. You click scan options and then do a full scan of your computer. It'll do pretty much the same thing as the WinR MRT situation. However, this one's just a little bit more easier to access in the settings. Those two are pretty much the foolproof solutions to check if you guys have viruses. Obviously, there is a chance that you have a really deep virus in your computer in which you guys need to actually go through different steps into your BIOS and other different registry edits in order to get rid of it. But generally, I think that if you use this MRT feature and then the Windows Deep Clean, you guys should be pretty much set. Like I said before, Malwarebytes is a last resort option. That's pretty much what I recommend for you guys in order to clean out your computer and make sure that there's nothing draining your internet and your hardware to ensure that you can get the lowest ping possible. Now guys, of course, the next tip is going to be something in actual Fortnite to disable higher resolution textures. Now this isn't a serious issue, however, what is really important is that you guys are trying to disable high-res textures because it's just going to drain your hardware and increase your input delay, which does contribute to your ping. Now high-res textures just add an unnecessary amount of texture and detail to your game that can affect your input delay. What's important is that you're supposed to disable this. You can go into the settings, you can disable high-res textures there. It's in the video section, it's pretty easy to find right below the video settings, you guys can disable them. And also make sure to disable the reminders as well for high-res textures. Along with this, I definitely recommend that you guys are on performance mode. Ideally, performance mode is pretty much for all competitive players. You need to be on it if you guys are a competitive player. It'll lower your input delay, make your FPS higher, and just generally make the game feel a lot more responsive. And of course, guys, the last tip that I want to go over in this video is to do two primary things in your Windows settings. Number one is going to be to turn on Windows High Performance Mode. What you guys can easily do for this is you can go into your control panel, you guys can go to power options. Once you're there, it's going to bring up a really big tab and you guys can sort of mess around with it, of course, in order to suit your guys' power needs, how much energy you're using in your computer. But I'd recommend you guys definitely go into the other options tab and turn on high performance mode. Don't turn on ultra performance because that would actually drain a large chunk of your computer's battery. Your power supply is going to go out pretty quickly, and if you guys do that and you're on that 24/7. But high performance mode is still very valuable because not only will it devote more resources in order to running specific applications like Fortnite, it'll make it a lot easier for you guys to maintain and conserve your power because it's using it in the right places rather than in all places. Windows High Performance is definitely a must. That's something that you guys pretty much have to do. And then of course, guys, the final tip that I wanted to go over, this is going to be sort of a Windows setting, but also sort of just a general kind of practice for your computer. This is going to be to disable any startup apps that are draining your Wi-Fi. So let's say you have a VPN, let's say you have any other startup apps that may be using Wi-Fi like Chrome, Firefox, whatever it may be, go into your task manager. You can do this by searching up task manager in the search bar, and then go into the startup section and then click disable for all of them. Make sure that nothing that's not essential is disabled on startup. Now to go along with that, I'd recommend you guys make sure you close all of your Chrome tabs, close all of the applications, close anything and everything that may be using any variety of internet or ping in order to lower your ping in game. So I've seen a bunch of players playing with 5, 10 Chrome tabs open, other applications that obviously Discord has to be open, but other stuff maybe that isn't really required. Just close that stuff, you really don't need it. And that'll actually allow your game to focus more on truly playing the game. You're going to be getting a lot better ping. Pretty much all of your internet will be devoted to that specifically. Now, of course, there are other tweaks you guys can do in order to 100% make sure that your ping is very low. However, in general, those are the greatest tips that I could possibly give you. In order to lower your ping, you need to make sure you're on Ethernet, clean your computer of viruses, disable high-res textures, and make sure that high performance mode and no extra tabs or startup apps are open on your computer. Those are the 5 golden things that I truly think will make your ping lower if you guys follow them to a T. But anyways, guys, that is the video on exactly how to lower your ping. If you guys did enjoy, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel down below. I really like making this video considering that I used to be struggling with the same issues, especially now with the NA Central server. The ping is seriously an issue for me, but I have been able to combat it by following a lot of these tips. But that's been it for this video, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.